Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Anything Blows. My name is Andrew. I'm proud to be joined by a man it felt like I literally just saw yesterday, and we're here today for a massive press conference which we announced a Magnificent Seven. We had Mark Chamberlain and Moses Itauma here, which is in the background there somewhere, and also we have a big fight to announce. Oh my lord! What? Yeah, that's the second time they've done that today.
Yeah.
Francis, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm great. Bittersweet for London that Arsenal didn't get the Premier League.
Gutted. Old son could have done us a favour, couldn't he? We're out watching City against Spurs in Riyadh. I've never been so disappointed that Tottenham didn't score.
Every single time he scores that goal, it's just that one opportunity.
Of course it was, No, it was gutting into the season, but still positives. Every season the points are improving. I think when Arteta first took over, it finished with 59 points, and now it's up to 89. So that's about right. 56 up to 89. So every year's been improvement. So yeah, heading in the right direction.
And unlike Manchester United, at least you're in the Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely. Another hopeful season of Champions League football. We'll see how we get on next year. We need a few signings, I think.
100%. And how do you see the Champions League final going? Dortmund or Real Madrid?
Madrid. Yeah, Madrid.
And the England squad's been announced. Obviously, it's a provisional. It's going to go down June the 7th. Is it coming home, which I asked you last time?
It's It's funny. Sean has to keep that on his phone because he's never ever made anyone do that before. It's coming. What an apt time to say it's coming home.
Yeah, it is coming home. No, that was a perfect time. So it's coming home. So, as you can see, with two of your boys in the background.
Oh, four.
Four. Sam, Sean,
Henry,
and Moses.
Talk
about them. Obviously, Moses coming off a spectacular performance in Saudi. Henry defending his WBC. Sam, Ivan Mendy, and then Sean, God willing, big fight news soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had a great week out in Riyadh last week with Moses. He, great performance. Fighting guys, 28 fights, 24 wins and only 4 losses. Only been stopped once. And it's a good benchmark. We've got a close competitor in Tom Schwartz. It's a good comparison there, who went 7 rounds. So Moses is certainly ready for a step up. Now the WBO Intercontinental Champion. And we'll be looking to try and get him in at least the top 12. It usually gets you a decent ranking. And on to the 27th of July when he'll fight. He'll defend that title. My dad's just said there in the press conference that he thinks he's ready for a British title. Totally, and absolutely concur with that. I think Moses is definitely at the level of the current top guys in Britain, at domestic level, well, not domestic, but British level. We've got David Adelaide and Sol Dakers fighting in on the 20th of July.
For the English.
I think he's past the English, but he's not looking past the winner of that. We'd like to maybe have conversations about that happening. And then within the next 2 or 3 fights, we'd like to talk about Fabio and Fraser.
And bigger names as well.
And that's not being disrespectful to him. I think everyone's in this to make good fights and ensure that everyone and the bigger the fights, the bigger the paydays. So that's the aim of the game here, is to make sure that everyone gets well paid for putting on the best fights. And if everyone else is up for it, then we're up for coming to the table to have a chat about it. I think there's no point beating around the bush. Some of the biggest fights out there are between British heavyweights, and there are with Moses, including in the 4 I've just mentioned. We have 5 tremendously, fantastically gifted heavyweights in the UK, and I think you saw what Fraser and Fabio did. You're going to see what Solomon and David are going to do. And Moses is definitely in the mix for that now.
Nothing beats the domestic. Let's stop. Then talk about Henry Turner. Where does Henry go from here? And could we get that Bradley Townsend fight remade?
We'll look at that. But what the priority is to get is for Henry to be made mandatory, or at least fight in a final eliminator for the British title. Also like the Jack Rafferty fight at Commonwealth for the Commonwealth. I think Jack's going to have a fight at welterweight. See how he gets on up there, and then and then come back down. So there's a few moving parts. We've got a bit of time. I think we're 9 weeks until the 27th of July. So probably gives us 3 to 4 weeks to get our ducks in a row and see what's happening. Dalton, we'd like your British title, please. So if you're going for the European, please move on, sir. You know, unless you stand at British level, but you know, I think Dalton is ahead of, you know, Henry, Jack, you know, some of the other super, even Azim. I think he's ahead of them. I think Dalton's just on the cusp of a world title fight, a world level fight. So you know, if Henry gets made mandatory for the British or wins his final eliminator, that would be a terrific step up for him.
And going on to the brothers now, talk about Sean and the one that isn't making inappropriate noises in the background. Sean, talk about Sean.
So Sean, he's gonna fight for the English title. Got a little bit of work to do behind the scenes to secure that for him, but that's the plan. Pending board approval, I have to say that. You know, Owen Cooper holds that title at the moment. I'm going to be making some, and he's going to fight Echo, and they've obviously got another. They've got the WBO European on the line. So, if Owen's happy to do so, I'd like, you know, it'd be nice for him to vacate that, so to give Sean a crack at the English title against a yet unnamed opponent. But we do have someone in mind. He has a 6-rounder in the next couple of weeks. If he comes through that, then fingers crossed we can get that done. So yeah, it's Sean's first title fight, the 27th of July.
And I can't wait. And the man in the background that we can see up there a little bit, he's not turning around. But a man in the background, and Dev Sani loves to do this with all of his press conferences. Is Mark Chamberlain in a fight that could be made? Or is you're not looking at
it? Can be made, but only at the right time for the right amount of money. That's pretty straightforward business. There are two guys that are on a different trajectory at the moment. Sam's climbing his WBO rankings, European champion, and a terrific performance against Evan Mendy last time out, which for me was very mature, pinpoint accuracy, and you know, he didn't rush anything, didn't go for. I believe he could have stopped Evan Mendy, but there was no point in trying to find out because he won pretty much every round. Knockout's not everything; the win is everything. And you know, Sam did that in tremendous style, showed great determination. He's having the summer off. He's had a long, hard year, and so Sam won't be back till September. But he's going to have a bit of time off, let his body recharge and refuel, and he'll be back out in September, probably in a defence of his European, and then we'll be looking to, and a defence of the WBO International, and then we'll be looking to march on up those rankings, chase down Dennis Baranchik. That's the aim of the game at the moment.
I love that. And just before we conclude, we've broken down the Magnificent Seven. As of now, nothing's been announced, but in a few hours' time, you'll announce a magnificent show at the O2 Arena. Is this just, would you say this is one of the best years for Queensbury in terms of leveling up every single show?
I just think it's, you know, you're only as good as the fighters you work with, and I think we're just very, very lucky to have such a fantastic bunch of young fighters and current champions. You know, my job as a manager and Queensbury's job as a promoter is to make sure that potential is fulfilled, and these guys all want to fulfil the tremendous amount of potential they have. We know we're terrific at our jobs, and these guys, I've never seen such a dedicated group. Individually, they are so focused on their ambitions and their goals, and they all believe that they're the best in their division, and that's half the battle.
When can we get all the boys? I would say selling out, but it sells out regardless. But when can we get all the boys in Saudi?
We'll see. Saudi's always obviously a hot topic at the moment, and you know, the guys. I'm sure the guys are wanting to get out there and showcase their skills on a different platform. But first and foremost, they've got a job to do on the 27th of July. Sam is September, and then we'll see where we go from there.
And just to let you go, break down Usyk versus Fury. And did you go out there for that?
Yeah, I was out there. Yeah.
How was it? And
the fight itself was tremendous. Fight week was exceptional. I've never seen anything like it. The production that was put on, the attention to detail during all press events and weigh-in and things like that, you know, to make sure that all the fighters got showcased and got a platform to enjoy the moment. Just because they're on the undercard, none of them felt. I mean, Moses said to me, he says, "This is the most fun I've ever had boxing," and that's thanks to the tremendous backing from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia that the guys got last week. The fight itself was just unreal. I mean, it's one of the best fights I've seen live. It toed and froed, it swayed both ways. Tyson Fury showed the absolute heart of a lion, but I think what people aren't talking about as much is what Usyk did coming out of from that 6th round, where he got an absolute shellacking and looked like he could be stopped. He showed that he's got absolute true grit and determination as well. So both guys are just a superhuman performance from both of them, and
It was a spectacle to see.
it was just unbelievable, unreal. I've watched it a couple of times back since I've been home. I haven't changed my opinion of the scoring that I had on the night.
What was that? Was it Usyk's way or?
It was Fury nicked it for me. He did nick it. I think he did enough in the early stages of the fight. But for me, there was only 2 real rounds that were up for debate, which was 7 and 11. I think that if you run through it, they're pretty clear. All the other rounds are pretty clear. But the 2 swing rounds were 7 and 11 for me, and I think 2 of the judges saw it the same sort of way. I thought the 115, 112 was wide, but point either way in a draw. That you can't argue with that.
100%. And just before I let you go, what's the message to not only the Queensbury Army, the Queensbury Stable, everyone that supports?
It's the boxing army. We're all in the same boat here. We're all trying to make this sport bigger and better and more fantastic every single day. And I think that obviously all us promoters are working together now. And I think that
it's better.
We're definitely leading the way with the shows we're putting on in the UK. We've got 14 title fights in the space of 7 days. Plus sort of showcasing some youngsters with the 4 and 6 rounders. So I think what we're doing is pretty special, pretty spectacular. And, as I said earlier on, you can't do it without great fighters, and we've got those in abundance.
Ladies and gentlemen, Francis Horan.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.